How we doing, Cowboys? This is Mr. Lankin coming to you with some instruction about PowerPoint. That's the first thing we're going to be working on today. We may have been working on something else when we left, but unfortunately that is going to be a little bit hard for you guys to get your hands on. Much harder than it is for people to get a hold of PowerPoint, or at the very least to use Google Slides. We're going to work on how to do a presentation. We're going to learn more about what goes into a good presentation, the basics of using PowerPoint and Google Slides. We are going to have a little bit of instruction about all of these things so that you can make great presentations for your classes for the next 4 to 8 years, because you're going to be using this for the rest of the time that you're in high school. And those of you that go to college, you are probably going to be making quite a few presentations yourself in the classes that you take in college. Now, as I've told some of you before, there's a lot of things that you can get done with PowerPoint, and the better you make it, the more impressive it is, and the more people kind of want to have you on their team because you're the guy who knows how to do PowerPoint. So that kind of happened to me whenever I was in my master's degree classes. It was pretty nice to have everybody else do the work, and all I was required to do is do the PowerPoints. What I want you guys to think about right now is how similar PowerPoint is to what you've been using before and how that's a good thing. And we're going to work on using presentations with backgrounds and themes. We're going to put in a little bit of information, and I'm going to show you that kind of stuff just to get started. It's a real good idea to be able to do themes first. If you set yourself up with a theme early, then you can have a good understanding of where everything goes, where everything fits, how much space you have with these things, and then you don't have to come back later and resize everything. So for starters, what we're going to do is let's go ahead and take a look at the PowerPoint interface. Okay, so far so good. This is what you get when you start up a PowerPoint for the most part. You can see that there is a number of templates that are available at the top. You can see more themes by clicking here. Let's see what Word looks like. Word and PowerPoint are pretty similar. Excel, not so much, but Word and PowerPoint very similar. So if you take a look at the tops here, you can see that basically they're pretty similar. Okay, you got your templates at the top, you got your templates at the top, Home and New and Open, and you got some recent stuff down here. Okay, so fairly similar. Okay, let's go ahead and work. I'm going to blank Word document. And I'm going to go ahead and give myself a blank presentation. Okay, so as you can see, across the top, on the home, a lot of similar stuff. Paste is the same. Format Painter. You've got, I'm going to put a little bit too far there. Okay, you've got your font situation, still the same. You got your paragraphs, how you're setting things up, mostly similar. Here we have mostly styles, but in PowerPoint we have mostly drawings. When you click into this area, when you actually click into a box, you can see that your quick styles open up, and that gives you some theme-like options, kind of similar to what we have here in the styles area a little bit. You got your find and replace sections. Office 365 has a thing called Dictate, which is basically, it's pretty handy. It's a pretty useful thing. It allows you to speak into your microphone, and Microsoft does its best to hear the words that you're saying and type it for you, which, if you're lazy, like me, that's a good thing. Okay, and let's take a look now what's different. Mostly what's different is this section right here in the PowerPoint area. This is where you put in new slides. Every page on PowerPoint, so to speak, is a slide. Okay, it's called a slide. This area right here is called the slide area. Alright, and you see on the side here you've got a little thumbnail of each slide, what it has, what it looks like, what it needs. Up in this section you see that there is a new slide. You can add new slides to this. You can add layouts. Layouts are how these little boxes are arranged. These boxes that you see here are called placeholders. They store the information that you've typed in, but if you don't have anything typed in, it's got these words that you can see which tell you what kind of information should be put into this area. Some of them, I'll show you later, they will have areas that tell you that you can put in more than just words. Some of those areas are designed for putting in pictures, videos, anything like that, extra additional insert kind of things. But for the most part, these placeholders have placeholder text, which immediately disappear just as soon as you click on it, that try and tell you what it is that you're supposed to be putting into this box whenever you do it. Okay? So that's mostly, you also have the drawings area where you can insert some shapes. You can click on a shape. You can draw a little shape in there as needed. Okay, that's pretty good. The insert button, very similar in overall effect. Putting in tables, putting in pictures, putting in screenshots. Another area for shapes and models and smart art. Some text box and header and footer areas. That's all kind of similar to what's got in Word. Equations and things like that you might need to have. This area though is pretty fancy. This is I would say new within the last 2 or 3 versions. The ability to insert videos, the ability to insert audio that you either bring to it, whatever file you might happen to have, like a music file or some pre-recorded audio, or the ability to record audio yourself on the computer that you're on. My wife is doing this right now. She is using Record Audio because she teaches Mandarin, and she's putting together some PowerPoints for her students at the elementary level, and she's recording audio so that the children can hear what she's saying in Mandarin and see and hear the word, as opposed to just seeing it on the screen, which is much better. Since she can't be there in person, that's a good way to get that audio in there as well. There's also other ways to get the audio into a presentation so that you don't have to physically be there to do your presentation. But that's a topic for another day. There's also screen recording, which is something that I was attempted to use before I found some other screencast software that worked for me. Screen recording allows you to actually basically do what I'm doing now. Just have the screen that you're working on visible and available, and then you can click and do whatever you need to do, and then it adds it as a video to the PowerPoint presentation. Like, it just plops it in right there as a video. Once again, topic for another day. So we've gone over basically how to get a open document in your Word document. I'm sorry, your PowerPoint presentation. So there's 2 ways to go about getting PowerPoint open. If you're not really familiar, you should be by now with Word. You can look on your Start menu. There's going to be a list of things that you can get, and PowerPoint's going to be in there right there. Okay. You could also have a desktop icon possibly that you can double click on, open up this PowerPoint. So that's how you would start up PowerPoint and get it going. As we move further down the book, closing a presentation, pretty easy, just click that X. When you click the X, it's probably going to ask you if you want to save your work. Probably a good idea if you've been working hard. Hate to lose it. Okay. Another thing is opening an existing presentation. That was, once again, that was in the file open, or you could go down the list here, okay, and find the presentation that you want. Get that opened up that way. As we continue on in the book, PowerPoint window that we've mostly been going over. There is a page in the book that if you want to take a look at it, the page in the book has a breakdown of the PowerPoint window, describing the areas. Like, this is called the thumbnail preview area. That's true. Thumbnail panel. The status bar down here at the bottom tells you which slides you're on normally. There is an area over here which if you ever click on something and it's got additional functions that you want to use, that information usually pops up to the right hand side here. There's a placeholder area. This is the area where the placeholders go. This is the working area. The slide pane is basically the area of the actual slide itself. And of course the ribbon up here at the top. All these things are explained in your textbook. I have a post that explains to you how to get to your textbook. You can go into there. It's through the SSO portal at the school. You can easily get into there, click on the thing, get into your textbook, and be able to see all the things that you need to see with this. Okay? All right, let's move this off to the side. Once again, get back into the window. All right, so one important thing, the slide pane is not locked in as it were. You can, I'm going to move this out a little bit. You can actually work in the outside of the slide area. Hold down Control and scroll if you've got one of these open and you're doing it yourself. Hold down Control and scroll just like you would zoom a page. Okay? You can scroll down and you can see that now you've got a lot of gray area right here. Now, keep this in mind. Only the white portion is going to show up on the screen whenever you play your slideshow. None of the stuff that's out here on the side is going to actually show up. Let me give you an example real quick. I'm going to put in a shape. I'm going to just put in a quick circle. Okay? And I'm going to type it in, and this is, we'll say a circle presentation. Okay? Circle presentation. Now, if I start this slideshow, if I get this slideshow started, as you can see, there is no circle. No circle whatsoever. Okay? That's because the circle is out here in the gray area. But I can take that circle, I can move it in to the white area from the gray area. And now when we play the presentation, the circle shows up. Now there are movement things that you can do. You can have these do a movement. Once again, topic for another day. But you can have it move in at a certain point during the presentation, and it will come from the outside, and it will come and gracefully slide into the inside of the presentation. Once again, topic for another day, but that's how that works. Okay. Now the book continues on. Okay. It wants to talk about how to take a text and put it in. Obviously, you're going to have to click into one of these boxes. Okay, if you don't have a box to click into, you can go to the insert and you can put in a text box. But for the most part, you're going to rely on the layouts. Okay, the layouts will automatically give you a bunch of boxes to use. Some of these boxes are title boxes. Some of these boxes are content boxes. You're going to choose which ones are most applicable to what it is that you're trying to get across. If you've got a lot of pictures, maybe some content boxes will work better for you. But if it's the first slide, you're going to use one of these title slides. So click into the box if you're following along. On your blank presentation, go ahead and click once in this top area. That's the title area when it says click here to type in the title. Okay, type in Premier Soccer Club. Okay, Premier Soccer Club. All right. Now, if this is a title, obviously it's going to be a little bit bigger than everything else, and that's good. Keeps everything in place. On the title, you obviously want to break it down to people what it is this presentation is about. Presentations are about informing people, basically. You are trying to get information across to your users, to the people who are trying to view your document for information. And what you want to do is you want to make that information available. And the first place to do it is the title. It lets everybody know what's going to be happening here, what is the point of this presentation, and if it's something that they're interested in, that's going to be a real clear indicator that here's the information what's on here. Let's go ahead and check it out if you're interested in this kind of stuff. All right, now let's go down to the subtitle area, and the subtitle area asks us in the book to type in top travel soccer competition for boys and girls. Now, as this is a title, most of the time you're going to be capitalizing each word, okay, except for words like for and the. If it's not the first one in the sentence, if it's in the middle of the sentence, thes don't usually get capitalized. That's just how the English language works. The thing about subtitles, you can press enter and you can continue down. Usually that's a good idea to put in your name. Give yourself a little bit of credit. Okay, so press enter, say bye, and then your name. Okay? Now, this is plain. This is boring. You'll put people to sleep with this. This is not exciting at all. Jazz it up a little bit. You can jazz up your presentations using something called themes. Okay? Themes are going to be here in the Design tab. You're going to get this whole area of themes that you could possibly use. Okay? A lot of different themes are available to you. The book is going to ask you to do one of the more basic themes. Okay, and that's going to be found in the More area. So click this little button right here for the More. Get the drop-down menu, get all your options available. Okay, and as you see, you can click, not necessarily click, you can just hover. You just hover over each one, see what it would look like. Now notice some of them don't exactly do so great. Some of them might just look wrong for your presentation. Okay, the backgrounds, the colors, and things like that. I mean, if you're talking about soccer, do you really want a hoity-toity little, fancy little, thingamabob, whatever? Is this really saying soccer? No, this is really saying let's do some quilting. So you might want to select a more, interesting theme, a more dynamic theme for your presentation. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead with one of the more basic ones that you can find on any of your presentations. This one's called Facet. Facet. Okay, it's this one right here. As you can see, when you hover over them, if you wait for just a second, a little box will pop up. It's got the name of it. They are more or less in alphabetical order. Some of them are not because they are later add-ons. But the facet theme is this one right here because it's like the facets of a jewel. You click on it and it applies it. Now, not only does it apply it to this one, and this is an annoying thing with 365, it pops up with more design ideas, and I don't really need that. Not only is that layout changed for that particular slide, but you also have a number, like all your other layout options, they're all changed to this new facet theme as well. Okay. Now, some of you have PowerPoint, and that's great. Some of you are following along, and you're able to do this pretty well, pretty easily. But some of you are using Google Slides, and that being what it is, it's like not everybody's got all the technology for it that everybody else does. So we're gonna do a little bit of training for Google Slides. Okay. We're going to check out how Google Slides work, what's the differences and everything like that. Okay, I want you to notice real quick, you slide users out there. I'm going to go ahead and bring down PowerPoint real quick. You slide users out there, you Google Slide users. I want you to notice that I've got off to the side here some saved PowerPoint themes, and they're really nothing. There's nothing to them. I just put together, I put in the design, and then I didn't type anything in. It's just a setting. It's just a setup where it's like I've got the theme saved to this particular slide. Okay, so Google Slide users, you guys are going to go and log in the normal way to your Google app. You're going to go to the nine circles here, and you're going to scroll a little bit until you see Slides. You're going to click on that. Okay, so Slides is what they call something called software as a service, SAS. It's a somewhat new computer term. Sorry, I'm going to wet my whistle a little bit. It's basically the idea that software can be given out not as a download onto your computer taking up space on your hard drive, but something that you can use over the internet. And we've done a little bit with this before. You've probably used Google Sheets. You may have that's the Excel program, but you mostly have probably just used like Google Docs for the most part. We've used Forms a little bit. You might have used Google Docs from some of your presentations or Word document needs for other classes. Sheets is your Excel program. Slides is your basically PowerPoint kind of presentation stuff. Slides is, well, let's see if we can just do a real basic one here. Slides is your PowerPoint presentation kind of thing over the internet. Now, the thing is when you don't have the program installed on your desktop, you really need a real lightweight version of this program, to be honest. And so what happens essentially is that you end up with a stripped down version of it without all the bells and whistles and hoops and all kinds of fun, wonderful, crazy stuff. Spit that out. There we go. that you would have in a full-fledged program like Microsoft PowerPoint. Presentation users. Okay, so slides presentations. You're going to go down here to this plus. You're going to click on the plus or just hover over it for a second, and you're going to create a new presentation or choose your template, one or the other. Let's just go create new presentation. So here you start off just the same as us. You've got a title, you've got a subtitle. When you click it, the placeholder words go away. Just like you, we're going to go ahead and type in Premier Soccer Club. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do something real quick here. I'm going to copy paste. Save myself some time. Alright. Okay. And I've got the information set up right here. Okay. And now, you've got your information set up, but you're lacking a theme like the rest of us. You do not have that fancy facet theme. Now, if you go back to the Google Classroom assignment that you probably are looking at to get this video, you will notice that I'm going to drop the facet, the ion, and the slice themes in there, and you can copy those to your desktop. The computer may not exactly understand what they're for because you may not have a PowerPoint program, but you have the file on your desktop, and I'm going to show you a quick trick to get themes placed into your document in your slides presentation. Okay? Interestingly, Google's setup is not very similar to Word, but it's still fairly close. It's not like you're gonna like have no idea what's going on whenever you do this. Let's take a closer look at it. I'm gonna get off the screen. Okay. So you have your presentation. All right, and you have a few things here. You got formatting options, inserting options, view options, arranging options, editing stuff. If you go to the slide thing right here, you'll notice that there is a layout option, just like in Word. There's the ability to do backgrounds, master slides, something to go over later. And here we go with change theme. Okay, if you go to slide and you go to change theme, you're going to get a pop-off off to the side here. Now, there's themes in this presentation. Okay, we got some options. You know, Google Slides is not without options. There are a number of options. But down here at the bottom, if you're looking to get the same theme as everybody else, you're going to click to import the theme. Okay? Now, importing the theme, you can get it from previous presentations, or you can upload. Okay? You can click on upload, and it's got the option to drop the file in place, or just select it from your device, which is just like it's going to open up that open screen. Okay, I've got the facet here. I'm going to grab it, click it and drag, and I'm going to drop it in. It's uploading the templates, it's uploading the pictures and the backgrounds, and what fonts you're using, and what colors you're using, and all that good groovy stuff. Okay. You can actually do all three at the same time if you really want to. Let's go ahead and do that. You got facet, you got ion. Well, okay. We'll do ion later. Okay, so got the theme there. We're going to import that theme. All right. Now click off this box. We don't need that anymore. So our PowerPoint presentation is now the same, our slides, as our slides presentation. Our PowerPoint and our slides have the same theme. Okay? It's possible, if you saw a Microsoft Office theme and you're working in slides, it's possible that you could create or possibly find online somebody with a slideshow that's got the theme that you want. You can use that slide, change theme, import theme to get in a theme that you want to make it look like the background that you want it to. Okay, so that is how you get a theme in slides. Super simple, super easy stuff. All right, now next topic of discussion. Real simple and easy stuff, just like in Word, we have the ability to check our spelling. Okay, Now, let's make a little error here. Okay. Let's say club. Okay. Competition club. Okay. Alright, so we've got that word in there, and that's obviously a spelling error. Notice the little squiggly line. PowerPoint recognizes that it's not a word in the English language. Now, how can we quickly and easily check all of our entire document for errors? Just go to review, just like in Word. You go to review, you go over here to the spelling, click on spelling, gives you a little sidebar over here, finds an error, says, hey man, this word's wrong. What do you want to do? Choose from one of these. You can't ignore it if it's like you put in your last name and your last name is like, oh, okay, you can choose to ignore it, or you can click on one of these and say change or change all if you want to do it for every word like that in the entire document. Okay, so we're going to say change. It changes it for us. Spell check's complete. Gives you a little ding that says everything's done. Good times. All right, super simple, super easy stuff. All right, now that is it for lesson 1. Previewing a presentation. You want to see what it looks like? You got 2 options. You can go to slideshow tab here. You can say, hey, start that thing from the beginning, go all the way through the presentation. Or you can use this little button down here to preview your slideshow. As far as your slides type people, you have your present option right here, and you can do presenter view, or present from the beginning, and you can play your slideshow that way. Always check your slideshows. Okay, an important thing that some people just forget is that you will be presenting this, and more than likely you're going to be in front of it at the time. So it's really an embarrassing statement on you if you don't check your slideshow to make sure that everything goes off without a hitch. It basically says, I don't care enough about this to really pay attention to what's going on. And that's a reflection on you, on your work ethic, on your, sometimes, like some people really take, they'll take a second look at you as a person if they think that you don't do your PowerPoints well. What else is it that you're screwing around on? So always be careful and make sure that you are doing quality work. Check your work, present, do the presentation, watch it all the way through, check the timings, check to make sure everything goes off without a hitch, check to make sure that something's not covering something else whenever you're trying to look at something. Okay, it's always a good idea to check that stuff before you let it roll out to the rest of the company or whoever. Okay, so let's move on to lesson 2. If you're in your book, if you're in your textbook from online, if you've got your online textbook out, you can go ahead and just click it. Scroll on down, go on to lesson 2, working with the slides. Slideshow talks a little bit about customizing your quick access toolbar. That's this stuff up here. You can change the things on there. For example, do you need to print this often? Probably not, but if you're the kind of person that needs it, there it is right there. This little bar, this little drop-down bar right here. These are all the quick toolbar options, quick access toolbar options. Do you need new files often? Go ahead and put in the new file button up there. Saving often, undoing and redoing stuff, starting your slideshow from the beginning, taking a look at everything if you want to have that up there just to be able to use it every time. Real quick and easy. Right up there is where it's at. Alright? Not really something that's super necessary for us to worry about. PowerPoint options is also something it talks about, but you got your options. You got your options down here. It's a pop-up menu. You've got a bunch of different things that you could possibly mess with. That's really a topic for a later date. It's a very detailed thing that I don't want to get into yet. We're already at 30 minutes here, so we're going to click out of that one real quick. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's turn a few pages. Go down. Inserting new slides. Super simple and easy stuff right here. You actually don't go to the Insert tab for this. You can, but it's kind of worthless because it's here on the Home tab. Right here on the Home tab, you will see that you have the New Slide option area. You can click on the New Slides, and here's the deal. You can actually use the top part of the button. It will give you a new slide. Okay, but that new slide, if you're on slide 1, it is going to go ahead and do a title and content kind of slide. Okay, that's an automatic thing after the title. Obviously, you don't need 2 titles in a row. So when you click on the top part here with the new slide, it's going to give you the exact same kind of slide that you were working on before, unless it's a title slide, then in which case it'll give you a title and content slide. Now, what do I mean by a title and content slide? Well, let's click on New Slide. Click on the words New Slide. And you will see that there are different layouts of how you can have your next slide look. Title and content is a very simple kind of slide. It's got a title box up here, a little placeholder for your title telling you what's on this slide, and then an area for information, and a video, a picture, one box that you can have right here. Now, keep in mind, that one box is going to be one box. If you put a picture in there, that's it. You get a picture on this slide along with your title. But there are other versions of these layouts. For example, to content, you could have some words on the left and some pictures on the right. Comparison, you got 2 boxes for titles and then a box for words and a box for some more words or a picture or 2 pictures. You know, however it is that you want to do it. So what the book says to do is to insert a new slide. We're just going to go ahead and insert the new slide by clicking, and it's going to give us a title and content. Another way to do that, as you can see, you can press Control M. If you look in the box, the little helpful pop-up window that popped in there, the new slide is Control M to add a slide to your presentation. That's the keyboard way of doing it. That's an option, but you know, the mouse, you got the mouse in your hand already. You know, why not use it? All right. Now, this one says we can go ahead and save this as P02 try if we want to. Same as with Word. You go to File, you go to Save As. You save it to your favorite place. You call it P02 try. Remember, kids, we don't turn in tries. We only turn in applies and practices. So, not really necessary for us to do that right now. If you want to, you can. I'll give you a second. You can pause the video. Okay, unpause the video when you're done. All right, great. Here we go. All right, so you got this new slide. You got a title area up here. Okay. You got a text area, or possibly one of these buttons will allow you. Oh my gosh, inserting icons. This is not the tweet button. You can put in pictures. You can put in online pictures, just like with Word. Titles, tables, charts, pictures, smart art, videos, or you could just start typing in words, and that works as well. Okay. Now, one of the things I mentioned is layout. Layout is right here, right off to the side of the new slide. You have your layout button. It chooses like a separate kind of slide area. Okay. Go ahead and hit up this one called To Content. Okay, it gives you a area for words and an area for some more words or pictures, or switch them and do pictures here and words here. Doesn't make a difference. Just go to Content. Okay, now you got 2 boxes for words and a title. Okay. Now, an easy way to get a new slide out of here is to say paste. I'm sorry, not paste. New slide. You go down here and say duplicate selected slides. Okay, since you don't have anything on it, duplicate selected slides is basically going to make another slide that's blank, just like this one. If you've got some words on here, this will actually put the same exact slide with the same exact words and everything on there. Sometimes when I've found that I've put in 2 slides, or like 2 slides worth of information on one slide and everything's too crowded, sometimes I duplicate the slide and I delete half off of one and the other half off of the other one, and then I've got 2 slides that now are much better spaced out. Okay, so duplicate selected slide. Hey, you got 3 slides now. Okay, go to this 3rd slide here. Go back to layout again. There's a different kind of layout you can also use. Find this one that says content with caption. Okay, content with caption is a different kind of slide. This is where you should put the pictures. Here's your title, and here's the words describing whatever it is that you have here in this picture. Okay, so this one's real good for a bit when you want the picture to be the center of attention. Okay. Now, moving from slide to slide, pretty easy. Scroll up and down. That's one way of doing it. Also, page up, page down. Look for the keys on your keyboard above your arrow keys. Page up, page down. That also works. Also, your up and down keys. Okay, that works as well, getting these things up and down. Finally, On the side, you've got a scroll bar. Clicking the gray area of the scroll bar, automatically jumps down. Now, sometimes you're going to have a little bit of an issue with this because you've got some stuff in the gray area and it's going to like dit a little bit to show you what's at the bottom of the gray area, and it won't go to the next slide. That's where the page up, page down stuff really comes in handy. Okay, because it automatically advances to the next slide like that. Okay, let's go back to slide 2. Title with the 2 content. Click on there. Okay, and let's go to the title and say tryouts begin next week. Okay, we're going to talk about tryouts now. Click into the left box. Okay, content placeholder. Now go ahead and say club tryouts start Wednesday, June 6th. Okay, press enter. Now, press tab. I think we did this in Word, but as you can see, you scoot over a little bit to the right, and you basically create a sub-point to the main point. Type in for this one, 4 p.m. for under 11. Notice how the text is a little bit smaller. Okay, that's because it's a sub-point to the main point. Okay, it is a sub-point that is describing action in the main point. And for the next point, after you press enter, 5 p.m. for all others. Okay, 5 p.m. for all others. Now, press enter. Now, here's the deal. We are no longer going to be underneath the club tryouts area. We need to get back to the same level as the tryouts area. So, hold down Shift, press Tab. That is one way to get it back up to the club level. Okay, but another way to do it is to go up here. You see that there's 2 things right here. This is your indent control. Decreasing and increasing list levels and indents, that's what these are for. So if you want to go back to the left a little bit to go back a level, back up to the main level, you can click that, decrease indent level, and it goes back up to the main level. And let's go ahead and put in the text for that one. Please be prompt. Which means don't be late. It's a fancy way of saying it. Okay? Alright. Pretty simple, pretty easy stuff, right? Now, the next part of the book talks about something that, I'm sure your parents don't want you to do, probably. Wasting time and wasting ink and paper and stuff. That's printing. Let's talk about printing. Let's not do printing. Alright, go to File. Go to Print. Okay. Here is your basic outline of what it's going to look like. Okay. You've got options here about what printer you can use, how many copies you want to make. Here's your button when you're ready to go. But interestingly, you can choose to print all slides, or you can print the current slides, or you can print a custom range. Maybe you've got like 50 slides in this slideshow, but you only need slides 29 through 36. You can hit custom range and select your custom range on that. Right here is where you would type in that information. Here's another one that's important. Full page slides. That's actually not the only option. You can actually have slides with a note page. You can have the outline of the words. Instead of seeing the slides, you actually just see the words. Okay. You can also see, as far as like you can make handouts, you can have 1 slide per page. You can have 2 slides per page. You can have 3 slides with some little note-taking lines next to it. Okay. 4 slides, 6 slides, 9, 4 vertical, 6 vertical, 9 vertical. Lots of options. Lots of options. A lot of times you will see in the business world this note-taking option section here. The one problem with that is it makes all the text from the slide real small and real hard to read. Okay, keep that in mind, kiddos. Okay, collated basically means we're going to get a complete slideshow with each printing, and then it's going to go on to the next one. Or you could do uncollated, where it's page 1, and then all the page 1s are done. Now we start on page 2, and then all page 2s get done, and now it's time for page 3. Okay. Portrait orientation, you can set for portrait or landscape. And the color, you can change whether or not it's going to be a color slide or a pure black and white, or a grayscale. Now keep in mind, businesses love to save money. Grayscale, that's how you're probably going to see most of your slideshows pop out. Unless you're trying to impress some customers, then you can go with the old color version. But for the most part, you are going to see people doing grayscale to save money because, as we discussed before, that colored ink costs a lot of cash. That black ink, not so much. Okay? Alright. That is everything that we need to accomplish today. But here's the deal. We're going to have a little bit of homework, kiddos. We've got to do some homework. Okay? So, here is your homework. I'm going to have out PO2 apply as part of the documentation in the Google Classroom. You're going to download that. You're going to do this information in the lesson to apply. You're going to save your work. You're going to put your name on it. And you are going to turn it back into the Google Classroom. Alright. This JPEG right here, this picture, will be available to you as well. You'll be able to see what you need to do and get it turned into me. I'll also upload the required files for you, all that good stuff. And I hope everybody's going to have a great day, and I hope everybody's going to turn in their work. And we'll see you soon, cowboys.